Hello, friends. Today, I reveal a best AI tool for business and online earning. So let's get started.
All right, so there are a million AI tools out there, right? But which ones can actually make you money? Today, we're going to break down an expert's power rankings for 2026. This isn't about hype, this is about what really works. Let's get into it.
So the big promise here, the question we're trying to answer, is a wild one. Can an AI tool really 10x your income or your business by 2026? I mean, that's a massive claim. So let's dig into what this expert thinks.
Okay, so here's the game plan. First, we'll look at how these tools are ranked. Then we'll cover the best of the best, the S tier. After that, we'll hit the A and B tiers, which are kind of like powerful specialists. Then we get to the juicy part, the C and F tiers, what to be careful with and what to just plain avoid. And stick around, because the final takeaway is probably the most important part of this whole thing.
So before we dive in, you got to get this ranking system. It's pretty straightforward. S tier, that's the non-negotiable stuff. You absolutely have to be using these. A tier is great for almost everyone. B tier is a bit more specialized, but super valuable if it fits your niche. C tier, maybe you'll use it once in a blue moon. And F tier? Yeah, the expert's advice is simple. Just don't even bother.
All right, let's kick things off with the absolute top shelf, the S tier. Think of these as the foundational building blocks. According to this analysis, these are the tools you pretty much have to use if you're serious about building a modern money-making business.
And surprise, surprise, who's sitting at number one? Of course, it's ChatGPT. I mean, this is the one that started it all, right? It totally kicked off this AI wave we're riding, and it's still the king for, well, pretty much everything, from writing emails to solving really complex problems.
And if you think that's just hype, get this, almost 700 million people use it every single week. That's just a mind-boggling number. It's why the expert basically calls it too big to fail. The takeaway is pretty clear. If you're not on this train yet, you are falling behind. Okay, the next S-tier tool isn't as flashy, but it is an absolute workhorse. It's Zapier. This thing has been a beast in the automation world for more than a decade. You can think of it like digital duct tape. It connects all your different apps and makes them talk to each other, so you can automate stuff without knowing a lick of code.
So why is it S tier? Well, for one, it connects to over 6,000 different applications. And the whole no-code thing is a game changer. It means literally anyone can set up these powerful automations. That's exactly why it's seen as a foundation for any business that wants to be efficient and scale up.
I mean, just let that sink in. Over 6,000 integrations. That is just huge. It basically means that any app you use can probably talk to any other app you use, automatically. We're talking about saving an insane amount of time here.
Okay, so we've got our S tier foundation. Now let's move down a level to the A and B tiers. I like to think of these as the powerful specialists. They might not be a must-have for every single person on the planet, but if you're in the right field, oh man, they are total game changers.
Yeah, so this is where it gets a little more personal. Unlike ChatGPT or Zapier, which are kind of for everyone, the A and B tier tools are all about your specific job, your industry. The trick here is finding the one that solves a really big, nagging problem for you.
So for instance, if you're a content creator, an A-tier tool like 11 Labs for creating crazy realistic AI voices could be your secret weapon. Or maybe you're a designer. A B-tier tool like Midjourney could be amazing for branding ideas. Or a marketer could use something like Runway ML to generate video clips. You see? It's all about finding the right tool for your specific job.
And hey, this is a great way to see how the tiers work in practice. Look at automation tools. Zapier, we already said, is the S-tier king. But maybe you're a more visual person. Well, then Gumloop, an A-tier tool, might be better for you. Or if you're a developer and want something open source you can really tinker with, another A-tier tool, N8N, is probably your best bet.
All right, we've talked about the good stuff. Now let's flip the script and head to the other end of the list, the C and F tiers. This is where we find out what's kind of meh and what you should just stay away from completely.
So a perfect C-tier example is Notion AI. Look, if you and your team live and breathe Notion every single day, then yeah, the AI features are a nice little bonus. But for anyone else, it's probably not a good enough reason to switch over. It's fine. It's useful, but it's not essential.
But okay, the real drama is in the F tier. Our expert put only one big, super hyped tool in this category. And the advice wasn't just don't use it, it was run away. So, what do you think it is?
Yup, Apple Intelligence. I know, right? After all that marketing, all that hype about AI for the rest of us, it landed with a thud right in the F tier.
And the expert did not mince words. The quote is literally, "It sucks. It has always sucked. Nobody uses it." Ouch. The reasoning seems to be that even with all the talk about privacy, it just doesn't perform as well as the competition, and people end up going right back to the other tools anyway.
Okay, so we've looked at the good, the bad, and the ugly. But honestly, the rankings themselves aren't the most important part of this. The real key, the big takeaway, is what you actually do with this information. And it all comes down to one thing: building a habit. Think about it. You could have access to the most incredible, powerful S-tier AI on the planet. But if you never remember to actually use it, it's completely useless. It's just sitting there. The tool itself is less important than the habit of putting it to work. And look, there's a really simple way to get started. Step 1, just pick one tool, whichever one sounded most interesting for what you do. Step 2, for the next 2 weeks, force yourself to use it. Really integrate it into your day. And step 3, try something called habit stacking. Link using your new AI tool to something you already do every single day, like checking your morning email. That's how it becomes second nature.
So, at the end of the day, these rankings are just a guide, right? The most powerful AI tool in the world isn't going to be on some expert's list. It's going to be the one that you actually use, day in and day out. The one that becomes a part of how you work. So the real question isn't what's the best tool, it's which one are you going to start with?